and kings. I'm not ready to do that. There's something for me very relaxing of looking at a Christmas creche and seeing the shepherds and the kings, to look on the colored lights of a tree, to hear the Christmas songs, especially like Silent Night being sung. It takes me back to a more peaceful time where there was not the anxieties of adulthood, but the fantasies of a child, and looking at how Christmas came and what it's all about. But today the church gives us one last feast, and we should actually celebrate this feast more special than we do Christmas. Because Christmas was a proclamation to the shepherds of the area about the birth of Christ. Those shepherds happened to be Jewish. Today, on the Feast of the Epiphany, this is our feast day. This is when Christ was revealed to all the nations, not just the Jewish people, but that he is the God of mercy and salvation for all people. Now, we don't know that much about the three kings, the Magi. We don't know how many there were. We say there were three because of the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. We even gave them names. We have Balthazar, who presented myrrh to Jesus, Melchior, who presented the gold, and Casper, who presented the frankincense. I don't know how many of you have looked at the three kings, the statues that you have in the nativity set, but you should have noticed they all have different skin tones representing God coming to all nations. But sometimes our imaginations can do us a disservice. Because if we really think about what these magi went through to get to the child in Bethlehem, they did a lot of crossing different cultures and boundaries. And I don't think at times we recognize the difficulty they went through because we have this image of them in this peaceful surrounding. Now, one of the things that I dislike the most about traveling to a different country is not knowing the language, not knowing how to get the things I want when I look at a menu, not looking at how to say, where's the bathroom at? I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, and I can say the important things. Margarita, burrito, Dos Equis, most importantly, al baño. But when we look at the statues and we think of these kings in these royal robes that are pristine and not dirty or traveled, or they look neatly ironed, we miss out on what the Epiphany really is about. How these people knew that something special was happening, and they needed to take a chance to follow what the Holy Spirit was inspiring in them. They didn't know anything about the Holy Spirit, but they knew there was something within them that said they need to leave what was comfortable. They need to leave their homeland and travel across these different lands, following the star. And the star was going to bring them something, not knowing what, but they had to trust, and they did. So if we remain a child and look at this as like, oh, isn't this pretty? Isn't this nice? We're missing something major. Because that means that if we really wanted to be like these three kings, if we really want Jesus that much in our life, we have to let go of some of those things that make us uncomfortable and follow God through them. To follow him wherever he leads, no matter how difficult the task may seem. Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to say, God, you are my all, and I want to do everything that you ask of me? Or do we want God on our own terms? I know at times I want God on my terms. I don't want to do some of the hard things that he asks of me. Oh, leave that for somebody else who's got more experience. Leave that for somebody who's younger, like Father Zach. He's got the energy. He can do it. When you think about it, when the kings got to Herod's palace and Herod asked the scholars of the law, the Jewish scholars of the law, where the Messiah was to be born, they knew. In Bethlehem, land of Judah. If they knew, why didn't they do something about it? I think it was because they were content. They were complacent. Oh, we got it good right now. Things are going our way. Why should we leave the palace and go to this little forsaken town? But the Magi knew better. They knew they had to follow the star. Are we willing to be led out of our comfort zone? Are we willing to accept that we don't have all the answers? Are we willing to follow God when he sends us those little nudges? Oh, call this person. They might need to hear your voice. Oh, look at that person over there. Give them a kind word. Or do we just sit back like the people in King Herod's temple did and say, we know all the answers. Christmas, Epiphany, Easter, we're Catholic. We're the chosen people. We don't have to do more. The answer is yes, we do. We need to follow him wherever he leads. Are our hearts and eyes open to see him? Are we willing to take the next step in faith? May this Epiphany celebration, when God was made manifest to the world, inspire in us the desire not to follow the star, not to cross the deserts or the new cultures, but to follow the voice of the Holy Spirit that he places in our hearts. May we be open to following him with all our heart, mind,